Okay, so this is Chapter 4, Problem 423, and hopefully you've already watched the introductory video and you've read through the problem so that we can jump right into the solution. But what we're doing in Chapter 4 is we're allocating overhead. And remember, this is based on estimates, and so it's estimated allocation of overhead. And in this particular problem, they ask us to first allocate the budgeted indirect cost rate and then the actual indirect cost rate, and then they ask us why they differ. So budgeted is based on estimated. Keep that in mind. And they told us that our all this information is given to us. They tell us in the problem up at the top that in December 2016, Atkinson budgets 2000 assembly support costs to be $8,800,000, and they estimate direct labor hours to be 220,000 hours, which is our driver for that indirect cost. So our budgeted would be our budgeted amount, $8,800,000, divided by our budgeted driver, which is 220,000, and so our budgeted rate would be $40, and this is per direct labor hour. So what we're saying is this year we think that our estimated indirect manufacturing is going to be $8,800,000. We think our estimated direct labor hours, which is what we believe drives up our overhead, is going to be 220,000, and so therefore every direct labor hour we work on a product or a job, we're going to apply $40 of overhead. Then it asks us to calculate the actual. And so we do the same thing. We figure out what was our actual overhead. And so it tells us in the problem that it was $8,400,000. And then it tells us our actual direct labor hours worked were 200,000. And so same idea. We take our actual overhead divided by our actual driver. Excuse me. Sorry, I've got allergies. And so it's per direct labor hour, $42, that is our actual. And then they ask us, why are they different? Well, basically because this one's based on budgeted and this one's based on actual. So we made some estimates when we did budgeted, but estimates are just estimates. They're never going to be exact. So what we see from this is we over budgeted overhead, but we over budgeted our direct labor hours. So we were applying $40 for every direct labor hour throughout the year when we should have been applying $42. So basically what we've done is underpriced our products and or our jobs, depending on what we're pricing. In number 2, it says, what are the job cost of the Laguna model and the Mission model using normal costing and using actual costing? So we've got two different models. And so we've got our direct cost, way off there, direct cost, we've got direct material, we've got direct labor, and then we have our indirect cost, which is our assembly support. That's what we were calculating up here. And so this information, I believe, is given to us. Direct materials for that model is $106,550. Direct labor was $36,250. For the Mission model, it was $127,450. And for the direct labor for the Mission model, it was $41,130. And then to get our normal costing, as it says, we would use this $40. This is what normal costing is based on, not actual. And we know it was $40 per direct labor hour. And so we would figure out how many direct labor hours we had on that model, and that's given to us as well. It's 970. So it's $40 times 970 hours. And then this is the $40 times, and again, those hours are given to us as 1,000 direct labor hours. And if we add all of that together, then we come up with our total cost for that job based on the normal allocation or estimated. It's another way I like to say that. Then it asks us to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this using actual costing. And so had we done actual costing, this would have been 42, because we knew once we got finished that we actually had under applied our overhead. And so we're given that information. That is our actual. And this is what we call normal costing. So they are different. We were basing our cost decisions on this normal costing method, and we thought that this would cost $181,600, but it really cost $183. And again, we thought this would be $208, but it was actually $210. So we have undercosted our products. It asks us in number 3, why might Atkinson Construction perform normal costing over actual? And you can read through the example there. But basically what this does is normal costing gives us the ability to calculate the cost of the job based on estimates as soon as the job is complete. So we're not having to wait to see what our actual overhead is for the year. Again, it's got to be based on a good estimate, or this model won't work. It will cause all kinds of problems in your costing approach and in your bidding approach. But it does enable you to get a good estimate of what that job cost you as soon as it is complete, or if you're doing bidding on the job, it's very much necessary. So that wraps up that problem, and I'll move on to the next problem in chapter 4 in the next video.